advantage ang Filipino cheerleader over the rest of the world in terms of maybe the height, maybe our weather gives us an advantage when we rehearse, maybe our guerrilla style of, will do it as long as, what is the advantage of the Filipino cheerleader?
No, for me, it's really the heart and the spirit, right? When Filipinos perform, right, you can see it when we dance, right? When we sing, right, you can see the joy in our faces. You know, we have the talent already that's here. We have the skill set. We're working towards developing all of that, and we're really on the road already in terms of it being international standards, right? Because we've been winning medals internationally already. But to me, what makes it unique is that passion that we have in all of us. The minute you say we perform, it's, talagang we give it our best. It shows in our faces. Hindi siya pilit, diba? Talagang nakangiti, and the passion really shows through. That's our difference.
The other thing is that when we go to the Worlds, and hopefully TV5 will be with us, ESPN, to go to the Worlds, right? I'd like to also make mention, Ivy over there, sitting there, she is the coach of the Poveda Juniors. Okay, 3-time national champion yan. Last year, the ICU opened up a juniors division sa Worlds. And when you say juniors, our juniors look like they're juniors. Pero pagdating sa Worlds, parang ang kalaban nila, ang lalaki. Talagang, you're wondering, paano natin tatalunin to? The Scandinavian countries, juniors yung mga yan. Same age, but physically, iba eh. I guess in other sports, it's the same, no? Although we're catching up sa basketball, coach would know. But iba eh. Iba yung physical level eh. But they still competed. They still gave it. And next year, if they go again, of course they have the option to go. They will do better. Because now nakita nila, okay, it's not about the size. It's not about the size of the person, it's the size of the heart that you're competing. It's about execution, it's about teamwork. So in terms of the Philippines, we're right up there, regardless of how big we are or small we are.
Second question, meron ba tayong nilulutong routine that would really resound in the world na that's a Filipino move, that's a Filipino choreography, the same na sa, di ba, sa AGP, maybe kang nagdadamit pang babae, or, a move or a routine that would put the Filipino in the consciousness of everyone. That's Filipino.
But see Ivy and Cheska. Cheska's had been part of the Team Pilipinas since she was junior. There's Cheska. Can you raise your hand, Cheska Cho? She's just graduating from LaSalle now, but this is her, like, how many times have you been in Team Pilipinas? 4? Huh? Since she was 13 years old. And she competed in Australia and Singapore with us. Ivy is part of the national coaching staff for about 6 years already. Okay? The uniqueness of the Philippines is when we first went there, we surprised everybody. Who were these kids from some islands in the Southeast Asia competing against them? Who are they? But the succeeding times that we go there, inano na sila. They're not anymore, wala na silang gugulatin. Takot na sila sa atin. It's a unique style. Our music when we compose music, because Cheer has music, there's original Filipino music all the time. There's something there. So you're bringing the essence of Philippines to the world. And actually, when we walk around and talk to other countries, they've been wanting to come to the Philippines because of us. So you're serving like ambassadors there in the whole of ESPN in Disney World. Kayo yung forefront. And we are known to be very, easy smiles, very friendly, alam mo na, diba? So, that's the unique quality. But again, like I said, yung ibang teams, gumagaling eh. And they can copy, they can simulate our warmth and freshness. Of course, bias tayo, Pilipinas tayo, diba? Pero yung iba, they see it. There's a unique, like Paula said, there's an X factor with Philippines, which other countries try to copy.
My last question, how can we make the lives of our Filipino cheerleader more comfortable. Like kanina you were talking about safety and we've always, and alam naman na din natin na even our athletes sa ibang fields, talagang they could use all the help, di ba? That's needed. Per cheerleaders, anong pwede pang ibigay sa kanila? Thanks.
Well, I'll answer first, then I'll pass it to Coach because he would know in terms of the sports. No? He's been in this industry for so long already. I think your question would also be directed as how do we make our athletes provide the proper environment, training, nutrition, and all of that. The easy answer is always funds, right? And support, but also exposure, which is what's being done now. I think we take it for granted that we've been competing in basketball for the past. Now we're always competing, but it's not easy. The coach has to push and say we have to compete here, we have to do this, and we have to do that. And we take it for granted that TV5 and ESPN is always showing all of these things. But it's not a given. Every year is a fight to keep it there. And I think it's bearing fruit because we have great athletes now. And from those start of the beginning of that program, these guys have developed. So when you compete against Haddadi or everybody else, next time you compete against him, hindi ka natakot eh. So it's more experience and more and the comfort in terms of our cheerleading, we try to provide the best equipment. And we choose MOA because they have all the dressing rooms. You get it? So they're comfortable, they're not stressed. They're not put in one corner, dyan lang kayo, umupo kayo sa sahig. Hindi. We want to keep it as fresh. So, but in terms of the Filipino athlete, I think coach is in the best position to answer that.
I've always said that the only solution to sports in the country is political will, not politics. Political will is different from politics. In fact, the problem with sports in the Philippines is there's too much politics, but not enough political will. By political will, I mean the head of the country or the national government must say, we will improve sports. Not only putting funds for training, but building the facilities, improving the nutrition. And I know we hear our sports leaders saying this year in and year out, but it never happens. Why? Not because of a lack of funds, because of a lack of political will. But if the national government says, gastusan nyo yan, dadating yung pera dyan. There are enough funds available. But it is political will. Same with any sport, and for sure for cheerleading as well. So yun lang, our athletes have to be able to compete internationally, knowing fully well that their needs are going to be taken care of. That they're not going to worry where to get their next meal. They're not going to worry what's going to happen to their family, or parents are not going to worry about what's going to happen to their kids. That's the only secret. And I've been through all the great sports countries in the world, to Australia, to China, to the US, certainly. That's the only difference. Yes, they have more resources. Yes, they may have more money, but the big difference is a strong national movement making sure that sports is doing well. You can argue that sa dami ng ibang problema ng bansa natin, bakit natin pag-uukulan ng pansin ng sports? That's another argument, of course. But I've always felt that a strong sports program leads to a strong nation, to a strong, healthier citizens, people who understand hard work, discipline, sacrifice, teamwork, and I think that's my belief as a sportsman, of course. But to answer your question, political will. That's all it takes.